Okay, so we are still looking at finding slopes. Okay, so what we did was Friday, I think. What we did on Friday was finding the slope from a graph. Okay, and we did rise over run, remember that? So we're gonna do the same thing, but we're gonna do it using points. Okay, so we're gonna identify where they are, and then we're gonna use a formula to find the slope. Okay? So let's look at this question here. So if I wanted to find the slope, right, I usually use the formula what? What was the formula for this?
Rise over
Rise over, right?
Instead of slope, we can write small n.
That's right. So we can replace slope with a small. Okay? What was my rise here? What's my rise and what's the run? So going up by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, actually, my mistake. Because every 1 is 1, every 2 is 1, sorry. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? Because if you look here, every 2 units, every 2 squares is 1. Okay? You guys see that? Okay. Do you guys see that? Okay. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the rise is 5. And the run, again, every 2 is 1. So the run is 1. Wait, I can't see properly when I'm very close to this. So that would be 1, 2, 3. Right? So the run is 3 and the rise is
5.
Let's see that properly.
I put something different last time.
I'm gonna have to do this. Give me a second. Just because I can't see properly when I'm close to the board. Okay? And this is not aligned properly. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my rise is 5. And the run is 1, 2, 3. Okay? So my my slope is 5 over 3. Okay? Now, what if I don't have a graph? Okay? Let's look at the first point. Can you guys tell me what this point is?
-1.
-1.
And
What's the x
-1.
value first?
-1.
What's the x value?
Oh.
1. 1. The x value is 1. What's the y value?
-1.
Negative. Okay? So the first point, so I'm going to call it, it's going to be 1 and -1. Okay? And we're going to represent it with x1, y. Okay? We're going to call them x1, y1 because that represents the first point. What would the second point be? What's that point? What is that point here? What's the x value? 4. What's the y value?
5. 4. Sorry.
4.
4.
Okay? So 4, 4. And then we're going to represent it with x2, y2. Okay? So far we looked at the first point, which is 1, -1. And we looked at the second point, which is 4 and 4. Okay? So, remember that is rise over run. Okay? What the rise means is the vertical change. It's the change. So what happened vertically? How much did I go up vertically? Okay? So it's called the vertical change. And the run is the horizontal change. Okay? So the formula becomes the following. It will be y2 minus y1. Okay? Because
Yes.
vertical change, I'm talking about the vertical values, which is 1. And the horizontal change is x2 minus x1. Okay? So, the rise is 2 minus y1. The run is,
x2 minus x1.
so the formula becomes for the slope, it will become y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay? So, here's the situation that I have. I have 2 points, right? I identified these points right here, right? My first point was 1, negative 1, and I called this x1 and this y1. My second point is 4 and 4, and I called this x2, y2. Are we okay with that so far? So all what I have to do, I have to take the values and replace it for the corresponding letter. What is y2? What's the value of y2?
4.
4. y2 is 4. Right? So I'm going to replace this y2. This y2, I'm going to replace it with its value. Okay? So I'm going to replace it with a 4. Take away. What's y1?
Minus 1.
y1 is
Minus 1.
negative 1. Okay? So I'm going to replace y1 with a negative 1. Are we okay so far? Are we okay so far?
The points are being calculated, right?
I'm calculating the slope.
Okay.
The slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. y2 is 4. y1 is negative 1. Okay? Now what's x2?
4.
It's 4, right? So if you look here, x2 is 4, right? So I'm going to replace it with 4
Minus 1.
minus,
1.
and then x1 is 1. Okay? So all what I did here is I replaced, using the formula y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, using my points, I replaced the value in. Okay? What's 4 take away negative 1?
It's 5.
4 minus and minus gives me
Plus.
plus. So 4 plus 1 is
5.
5.
5 over 2.
What's 4 take away 1? 3. Is that the same answer that I got at the top of the page?
Yes.
Using my graph.
Yes.
Right? So, using the graph, I can count, okay, rise and run. But if I don't have a graph, and they gave me 2 points, I can use this formula, which is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 to find my slope. Is that clear for everyone? We're going to do another example to help us understand this even better. So, the question is asking to calculate the slope of a line that passes through the coordinates 3, 5 and negative 2, 1. Okay? So they gave you the 2 points. First point is 3, 5. Second point is negative 2, 1. Okay? The first thing you want to do is you want to assign the letters for each one. So what do I call this?
X1.
X1,
Y1?
y1, right? Remember alphabetical order, x, y. Okay? What do I call this?
X2?
x2,
Right.
y2. Okay? The formula for the slope, if you guys don't remember it, it's written right here somewhere. Okay?
Yes.
y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay? Now all what I have to do is I have to sub in the values from these points. Nilfar, what is y2 equal to? What's y2 equal to?
One.
1.
One.
Harry, what's y1 equal to? What's y1 equal to?
5.
5. Alex, what is x2 equal to? What's x2?
X2 is minus 2.
That's right. And then minus, right? And Homer, what is x1 equal to? 3. Okay? So you see that I used the points to plug in the value. So 1 take away 5 is
Minus 4.
negative 4. Negative 2 take away 3.
Minus 5.
Okay? Now at the end, because I have negative over negative, they cancel and they become
4
positive.
by 5.
Okay? So that means I have a rise of 4 and a run of 5. Does it make sense? Now let's look at these points here, just to see if I actually have the same answer if I graph. 3, 5, so that's 3. And 5 is right here, so 3, 5. That's my point. And my next point is negative 2, 1. So negative 2, 1 is right here, right? Okay? So, I went up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I'm going to show you that. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then over 1, 2, 3. I can't read.
So,
1 should be up 4. Why did I get 5? Should be up 4. 1, 2, 3. I can't see this. 2, 1. 1, 2. Oh, because that's 6. That's why. This point. Because that's 6, that's not 5. 5 is right. Okay. So up 1, 2, 3, 4. Makes sense? And over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that the answer I got? Up 4 over 5? 4 over 5?
yes.
Okay.